Hey, I'm Antonio Graceffo. It's Martial Arts Odyssey. Today I'm back in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, and we're learning wrestling. And this is Mr. Kim, my wrestling teacher. Mr. Kim, so nice to see you. Thank you for inviting me. Mr. Kim was originally sent to Russia in 1986 to learn wrestling and bring the skill back to Cambodia. So he was one of the first wrestling teachers ever in the country. Now he's the vice president of the Wrestling Federation. Now, the reason I've included Mr. Kim in this video is because Mr. Kim was also instrumental in the foundation of the Bokator Association, and he's helped revitalize the Bokator. He's working together with Grandmaster San Kim Saen. Bokator is a composite martial art which should include Bokator, which is the animal styles and weapons and forms. Also, it should include bap.boran, which is the Khmer boxing. And finally, it should include bap.boran Khmer, which is the Khmer wrestling, the traditional wrestling. Now, these folks are practicing modern wrestling, but modern wrestling is being used today in mixed martial arts, and that's the direction that Bokator wants to go. In their annual fighting competitions, they allow ground fighting, but with a 10 or 15 second ground fighting limit. I am, in martial arts terms, a striker. That means I can punch pretty well, I can kick a little, and I'm absolutely terrible at grappling, and I can't believe how hard it is for me to learn these very basic movements. But these guys are so skillful, and I mean, they can just take you right to the ground. So in an MMA type fight, one of these wrestlers versus one of the excellent Khmer boxers, probably this wrestler is going to win because he's going to be able to take the boxer to the ground before he gets kicked or punched too severely. I keep trying to make room in my schedule to learn grappling, and I still haven't learned it. Almost all of my shows have been about striking, and all my training, literally all of it, has been on striking. These guys are just coming off of competing in the SEA Games in Laos, where Cambodia won 7 medals, which for Cambodia is a lot. This is a country that's only competed in the Olympics about a handful of times, maybe 3 times or 5 times in the whole history of Cambodia. They've been to the Olympics, and so the SEA Games is a big deal for them. That's the Southeast Asian Games, and then the next higher level after that is the Asian Games. And anyway, the SEA Games is really important to them because they compete with Laos and Vietnam and Thailand and all the neighboring countries and countries that they have traditional rivalries with. So they won 7 medals in the recent games. They won 1 gold medal, 3 silver, and 3 bronze. Now, like everyone else in Cambodia, these wrestlers are financially challenged. I mean, they come from the villages. A lot of them come from villages that were still practicing traditional wrestling, and that's actually how they were originally picked for the Olympic team. But they come from villages, farmers, things like that, and they don't have a lot of money. So the Wrestling Federation gives them a place to stay and food, and I believe that they get some kind of a pocket money monthly. But for winning medals in the games, they get cash prizes from the government. So for a gold medal, they get $6,000. Now, the average income in Cambodia is about $50 a month. So if the average person's earning $50 a month, that's $600 a year. So $6,000 is like 10 years' salary for the average Cambodian worker. You get $4,000 for silver and $2,000 for bronze, but even that $2,000, you have to realize, is several years of wages for a worker in Cambodia. And of course, the wrestlers tend to be pretty young, so I mean, you might have an 18 or 19-year-old kid that wins a medal and gets that kind of a cash payment, and that's just an incredible boost for him and for his family. These guys, wrestling is basically a full-time job. They train once in the morning and then again in the afternoon. They train every day. Now, the type of modern wrestling they're doing here is called freestyle wrestling. They do not do Greco-Roman wrestling in Cambodia. The traditional Khmer wrestling is very similar to modern freestyle wrestling, and 2 of the leading wrestlers are Ling and his older brother Japran, and they come from the wrestling village where my Khmer traditional wrestling videos were filmed. Mr. Kim and Grandmaster San Kim Saen told me that their dream for the future is that the Bokator fighters will begin fighting on TV, and they'll be fighting with mixed martial arts rules, which would be basically Bokator rules, and that means learning more of this ground fighting wrestling. Unfortunately, I have got a long way to go. I'm not a gifted grappler by any means. Oh my God, this is the hardest thing I've tried to learn. And this charming fellow right here is the North Korean coach of the Cambodian wrestling team, and he is whipping those boys into shape. Maybe if I had somebody like that shouting at me every day, I'd learn how to wrestle too. Hey, I'm Antonio Graceffo. That's it for this episode of Martial Arts Odyssey. We are in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. We're learning wrestling. I'm with Mr. Kim. Mr. Kim, thank you so much. I love wrestling. I love it. Yeah, it's so skillful compared to boxing.
You must train and train every day.
And train every day, yeah? More than 10 minutes. Okay, as always at the end of every episode of Martial Arts Odyssey, I tell you, get in the gym, do your sets, do your reps, do your road work. Please say a prayer for the people of Cambodia and the people of Burma.